All right, third grade, this is it. Here is your end of the year math test. It is a 4-page test. What I'd like for you to have out is a pencil and a highlighter before we get going, but this test is a little different, okay? As you can see, some of the notes I have here, it's to see what you know. You can't ask your parents for help. There's going to be questions on there that you may or may not know, and that's okay. If you get to a question that you don't know, cross off the letters you know for sure it can't be, and then make a good educated guess. It's okay, because what this is, it's info for us to give to the fourth grade teachers of what you know or don't know. And all we want you to do, just like on every single test, is to try your best. So once again, it's what you know. I don't want you to ask your parents for help. All right, so pencil and highlighter, but I will go through all the questions with you and kind of highlight key information for you. So we have 36 problems. So starting off the bat with number 1, what is the value of 5 in the 5,307? So right here, it wants to know what that 5 is. So you have A, B, C, or D. What does that 5 stand for? Number 2, you're going to compare the numbers. Remember, the inequalities always eat the bigger number. So tell me which one's bigger. Number 3, which operation symbol makes the number sentence true? Okay, so I have 130 and 15. What do I have to do to these two numbers to get an answer of 115? Am I going to divide, multiply, subtract, or add? Number 4 is just a subtraction, but now remember, if you have numbers down on the bottom that are higher than the numbers on top, don't forget you do have to regroup. Number 5 is what amount is shown. Okay, so here we have a dollar bill, a dollar bill. This looks like a quarter, another quarter. This looks like a nickel. And then this looks like a penny. Okay, so first you're going to have to put how much a dollar is, how much a quarter is, how much a nickel is, how much a penny is, and then you're going to have to add them up to see if your answer is A, B, C, or D. Okay, then we're going all the way up to the top to number 6, another basic subtraction. Okay, don't forget to look if you need to regroup. 7, you're looking at the schedule, this chart. We have an activity and we have the time. It's your morning class schedule. So you have reading, math, recess, art, spelling. So it's saying like reading, you go from 8:15 to 9 a.m. Math is 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Recess, 10 a.m. to 10:20 a.m. Ooh, they get a little bit longer recess there. Art is 10:20 to 11, and spelling is 11 to 11:35 a.m. So number 7 is asking which is the longest. Okay, so you have to figure out how long are you doing reading, how many minutes, how long is math, how many minutes, okay? But for sure we know it's not talking about recess, so we don't even have to figure out recess, right? Because that's not a choice. So you're down to reading, math, spelling, or art. Number 8, there are 8 oranges in each bag. Kyle buys 2 bags. How many oranges does he buy in all? Now, what I'd be doing is I'm actually going to draw a picture with this, like you should all with everything, right? So you have like 2 bags. Oops. There's my bag, right? There's one bag. There's another bag, right? And then think about 8 oranges in each bag. So what am I going to put? How many things in here? How many oranges in this bag? How many oranges in this bag? And it is, what does he buy in all. Okay, don't forget, draw a picture with it. Number 9 is multiplication, 9 times 3. If you don't have your multiplication facts memorized, remember, draw a picture. You can draw an array, you can draw a picture. 9 times 3, you have 9 groups of 3. Okay, then we go to number 10. Another thing with equality, but you have to answer both sides. You have to answer, is 0 times 8 less than, greater than, or equal to 1 times 6? So you have to answer the left side, and then you have to answer the right side. Number 11, Luke buys 8 packages of balloons. Each package has 4 balloons in it. How many balloons does he buy in all? I'd be drawing a picture, right? He has how many packages of balloons? 8, right? So if I get my packages set up over here, right? That's one package. 1 package, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? And there's 4 balloons in each of those. Okay, how many balloons does he buy in all? So I got to figure out, what is 8 groups of 4? Number 12, you have to solve the multiplication problem. What is 10 times 8? Number 13, we're using a pictograph, okay? So we have these new library books. Fiction, science, history, and art. The key is each book represents 4 books. So you got to think about, if a whole book is 4 books, what would be a half a book, right? How many more? Think about when you see how many more. Do we add, subtract, multiply, or divide? How many more new art books than science books are in the library? So we're going to be talking about art, and then we're going to be talking about the science. But remember, it says how many more. So you have to think about if you're going to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. Okay, then we're going to go up to number 14. What is the rule for the table? Meaning, remember we talked about this where we got to figure out, what do I do each time? So if I have 1 chair, there's 4 legs. 2 chairs, there's 8 legs. 3 chairs, there's 12. 4, there's 16. 5, there's 20. So think about, what's the rule? What's the pattern? How do you get from 1 to 4, 2 to 8? Are you going to multiply chairs by 4? Are you going to divide the chairs by 4? Are you going to add 1 to the chairs? Are you going to add 2 to legs? Number 15, an adult's ticket costs $8. A child's ticket costs $4. How much would tickets cost for 3 adults and 7 children? Okay, so I'm going to kind of actually change it up. I'm going to change adults are 8, where a child is 4. So I'm going to do 7 children, and then I'm going to do 3 adults. Okay, so I did 2 different colors to kind of show I have 3 groups of 8, and then I have 7 groups of 4. Draw a picture. Draw a picture. Okay, so maybe you're going to a movie theater. Think about how much money you would have to have before you go. Number 16, which number makes the number sentence true? 7 times what gives you 28? And 28 divided by 7 gives you what? Which number would you put in there to make it true? Number 17, it's a division problem. You have 42 divided by 7. So you're going to take 42 and you can split it to 7 groups. Figure out how many X's are going into each of the 7 groups. Number 18, what is the rule for the pattern? Okay, how do I get from 345 to 360 to 375 to 390 to 405 to 420? Am I going to add 10, add 15, add 25, or subtract 15? Okay, so for 19 and 20, we're going to use this bar graph. Okay, so favorite potato dish. Oh, now this is going to make me hungry. Is it hash browns, french fries, baked, or mashed? Okay, and your number of votes are 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Now remember, if you have a bar graph that's in between 4 and 6, think about how many votes that would be. So for number 19, which potato dish got the greatest number of votes? Hash browns, french fries, baked, or mashed? We're looking for the greatest number. Number 20, how many more votes were for mashed than for baked? So we gotta look at mashed and baked. So we gotta go back up to my bar graph. We're gonna look for mashed and baked. Remember, how many more? Am I gonna add, subtract, multiply, or divide these two numbers? How many more? 21, which unit would you use to measure the length of your math book? Which unit, meaning if I had to go measure my math book, am I going to use how many miles it is, how many yards it is, how many feet it would be, right? Like if it was a foot, or how many inches it would be. 22, which word describes a triangle that has 3 equal sides? So this is one of the questions that we had when we've been doing our distance learning, right? Does that mean it's an acute triangle, an obtuse triangle, an isosceles, or an equilateral? That's kind of a vocab definition one. All equal sides of a triangle, what is it called? Okay, number 23, which quadrilateral has only one pair of parallel sides? One pair of parallel sides. So remember, pair is 2, right? So which one has 2 sides, okay, because they're a pair, that are parallel to each other, meaning they're never ever going to cross. Only one pair. 24, which figure has 6 faces? Remember, those are the 3D shapes, right? A rectangular prism, which is like a cereal box, a sphere, which is like a soccer ball, a cylinder, which is like a soup can, and then a cone as well, kind of like the cones, color cones we have out on the playground. Has 6 faces. Number 25, Judy has 16 feet of fencing to build a play area for her puppy. Ooh, so she went to Big R and got 16 feet. If she wants the greatest possible area, how long and how wide should the sides of the play area be? Okay, so she has 16 feet to work with. And she's talking about area, and she wants the greatest. So remember, area, not perimeter. We're not talking about going around, right? Okay, so she's talking about the inside of it. But she has to be careful because she can only use 16 feet of it. So what I would do, we have A, B, C, or D. They give you choices, right? 4 feet long, 4 feet wide. That means you would have 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. Does she have enough fence to make a 4, 4, 4, 4? And then what would the area of that be? Then go to the 5 feet long and 3 foot wide. Can she do 5 by 3 by 5 by 3? Okay, does she have enough fencing to do that? And then go and find the area. So you're going to want to draw 4 separate play areas and figure out one, if she can build that size with the 16 feet, and then take a look at the area, which remember is the inside. Number 26, this is something we really didn't talk about, but see if you may or may not know it, so let's try it. What is the volume of this figure? How many cubic units do you see Or maybe do you not see? Because I think some of these cubes are technically hidden. So how many cubic units do you see? Okay, 27, last page. Which color are you most likely to spin? Like, which one are you going to be most likely to land on? You have a red, a white, a red, a green, a blue. So I'm kind of taking a look at this, right? Red, 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 blue, green, or white. What color are you going to be most likely to land on? Taking a look at that spinner. Red, blue, green, or white. Number 28, Lucy is arranging her vases on her shelf. She has a blue vase, a yellow vase, a red vase, and a purple vase. How many ways can she arrange her vases? This is going to be a tricky one for you guys. So draw it out. Maybe put, if I have a B for blue, a Y for yellow, a R for red, and a P for purple, right? So maybe she wants to first do her blue, her yellow, her red, then her purple. But maybe then she wants to do blue, red, purple, then yellow. Okay? Think of how many different ways can she arrange her vases? Because obviously she's not just one way. There's going to be more than one way. 29 is talking about fractions, and it gives you two fraction strips right here. We have 1 6, 1 6, 1 6, 6, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. So 3 6 is what to 3/4? Think about your inequalities. They always eat the bigger one. And take a look at your picture. It's right above you. Now, number 30, we definitely did not talk about, but I want to see, you may or may not know this. What is the sum, which is talking about addition, in simplest form? So if I add 3/10 plus 2/10, what does that equal? You may or may not have done this maybe in Splash Math or even in your Prodigy. So you may or may not know this. Try your best. Then for number 31, it says, what is the difference in simplest form, which means it's subtraction. So number 30, you're going to add the two fractions together, but then 31, you're going to subtract them. Remember, no help from your parents. They want to see what you know or don't know. It's information to the 4th grade teachers. Okay, number 32. What is 9/10 written as a decimal? Okay, how would you write this as a decimal? We didn't really talk about this, guys, so that's okay. It's just telling us what you know or don't know. Try your best. And then number 33 says, which shows the decimals in order from least to greatest? So which is the smallest going to the biggest? Number 34 is just talking about addition. Don't forget to regroup if you need to. 35, Lauren exercises for 35 minutes each day. How many minutes does she exercise in 7 days? So she's going 35 minutes for each day. She's going to exercise in 7 days. Well, I'd be drawing a picture, right? She has 7 days, and then she's going to do 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, 35, and 35. Okay? Figure out how many minutes does she exercise in all. Okay, then the last question. A group of 68 students is going to a museum. Each van can hold 8 students. How many vans do the students need? So like we're going on a field trip. I have 68 students. And I got to take vans, and they can only hold 8 students. So how many vans do I need to take? Remember, I can't leave anyone out. I got to make sure I have plenty of vans. Okay, but I don't want to have way too many and only have, I don't want to have like 4 in all the vans. Okay, so think about how many vans do you need? Draw a picture. Okay, so there's your multiple choice end of the year test. Okay, go back through. Make sure you have all 36 problems answered. Remember, there's going to be questions on here that you may or may not know. Okay? And that's okay. Remember, we want to see what you know. You shouldn't have got any help from your parents. Remember, there's questions you may or may not know, and that's okay. Take a guess. This info helps the 4th grade teachers. And no matter what their grade, we wanted you to try your best. So if you need to, go back to the beginning of the video, go through it. You can always pause the video while you're taking the test.